Welcome to another episode of the Ignite Your Mind podcast, a safe place for real talk and discovering powerful stories, talking about mental health, real business journeys, and hearing inspiring stories. My name's Sanjay Patel, and I'm a transformational life coach, YouTuber, DJ, and content creator. And I'm sitting down with creatives, entrepreneurs, and inspiring individuals who tell their story on a whole deeper level. And this week, I have an influential entrepreneur and good friend of mine that is Maximus Stephanos. Max and I unexpectedly go deep in this conversation and talk about real life home truths to do with the music industry, mental health, his father passing away, and how it affected what direction he wanted to take his career, as well as some laughing jokes. Max also tells us his journey to building his own business in the media and broadcasting industry, as well as being a DJ, gigging, money, and the stigma on the industry. I really hope you enjoy. Cool, so welcome to another episode of Ignite Your Mind with myself, Sanjay. I've got a very, very special guest today and a good friend of mine who I haven't spoken to in a while, so it's probably going to be an interesting conversation. The one and only Maximus Stephanos. How are you doing, sir?
Yes, brother. Thank you for having me on. I'm all under the circumstances, bro. I'm doing great. I'm doing all right.
So just anyone who's listening to this is recorded just almost 3 weeks into UK lockdown. So this is why it's on a Zoom call. This is why we couldn't meet up in person, unfortunately. But mate, I see you're in the sun. You're in the garden, mate, catching the rain.
I've got to be very real with you. You know I love my sunbeds, innit?
Yeah.
And there's been no sunbeds. There's been no barbers. There's been no gyms. So
mate, look at that on.
I went bald, bro. I did it bald. I got my mum to shave me like wet shave.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna keep it like that. To be honest with you, I think I'm gonna keep it bald, big beard, get a nice little white Rick Ross vibe going on. I think.
Yeah, definitely. Right, I just want to get the coronavirus talk out of the way because I know it's a talk for everyone at the moment, and obviously what's going on. So how are you? How are you doing in isolation? Like, what's going on for you?
Yeah, bro. I'll be real with you. I actually went into self-isolation about a week before it was sort of brought on properly by the government. I had a few ill symptoms, so I don't want to like hype it up and say, oh, I've had it or whatever. I was feeling ill. I got back home to like where my mum and my brother live, which is by Milton Keynes. And that was like a week before the actual lockdown. So I've been like I was sort of in bed for about 5 days resting. Then the isolation proper lockdown thing came in. I've just been following the rules, bro. I haven't left unless it's been to go and get meat from the butchers. We've got online shopping. We order. It takes about 3 weeks to come.
Mental, isn't it?
But yeah, apart from that, mate, I've just got a routine that I stick to, and obviously I really miss the gym. I do my business as a DJ, as a host, as interviews, as a videographer is
you'll be out there
non-existent right now. But I'm just thankful that all my family are safe, and I'm in a beautiful setting, and I can just enjoy every day, really, mate. Like,
yeah, definitely. No, I fully agree with you. It's interesting the amount of conversations I've been having recently with other people, and especially now we're almost 3 weeks in. Like, what's shifting for people is that how grateful they are and how much they realise when they've got things now to be super grateful because now it's been taken away. They're like, well, shit. Like, what happens now? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. There's like certain things that have affected me directly. One, for example, I saw Hideout Festival was cancelled today. So when I woke up to that news, that's directly impacted me. Flex FM studio, they've gone into like an isolation program. Everyone's doing their shows from homes. So that's like two things that actually directly affected me. And I'll be completely honest with you. I had times when I started to get a bit on a downward thing. I started to think about what life was like and when you could just go out and drive and do stuff and have a good time. So I thought, you know what, if I'm going to keep up this mindset, it's not going to be good for me. It's not going to end well. So I've put my brain in lockdown. That's what I tell people. I'm not thinking about girls. I'm not thinking about dates. I'm not thinking about partying. I'm not thinking about playing music to people. I'm just in complete lockdown. I'm here, like I said, I'm with my loved ones, and I'm thankful that no one around me's been taken ill or anything, bro.
Yeah, no. Do you know what, mate? Like, it's interesting you say that because I kind of had the same thing. I think everyone had the initial part where they were just like, oh my God, like, what are we going to do? We have to stay indoors. But then all of a sudden over time, you're like thinking, well, actually, I'm kind of grateful. I've got a home, I've got a bed, I'm not ill, my family's okay. Like, you know, shout out to everyone that has lost a loved one, or, you know, been in despair about that. Like, it's obviously not a great situation to be in, but yeah, no, I just think it's changed people and it's changed the world right now, and I'm interested to see what's going to happen when we come out of this and what the world's going to be like.
Do you know what I was just about to say to you, bro? I think this is gonna have an effect on people. You wouldn't, like, basically, I can't remember who I was saying this to the other day, but we can't expect to be able to, let's say we come out of lockdown in May, yeah, we can go, I'm going to use parties a lot and raves because obviously that's like the business that I'm in, yeah. But then you can't expect to throw a rave and then everyone's going to be super close to each other, sweating all over each other. You're going to meet girls out, you're going to give them a kiss on both cheeks. Like, I don't think that's going to happen, bro. I think people are going to try and keep this kind of social distance thing, or be wary of people, or like it affects your mindset, bro. I filled up with petrol the other day in my car, and the thing wasn't a push door. I had to pull it, and like I was standing looking at this door handle, thinking like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I'm gonna have to touch the door handle. Gonna have to touch the door handle. Yeah. I was never like that before, never.
Mate, it's crazy, isn't it?
But that's something that has affected me personally, and it probably will go on in affecting my daily life.
Yeah, no, it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see like people washing their hands like properly now. Like, I know we used to wash our hands, right? Simple things like that. You're just gonna go like, am I gonna touch this? And if I touch this, maybe I should go wash my hands quickly. Like, you're gonna start thinking like, because it's so, now it's been embedded in people so much that they have to do it. Anyway, look, coronavirus talk. We'll move on from that. So, tell me a little bit more, and the people that are listening, like, what do you do? Like, just to give people some context. So, Max and I, we met 2016, I think, when it was House 559.
2017 was
2017. Open. Yeah, I still am a DJ, and I approached Max. I wanted to get on his station. He was running his own station at the time, so that's kind of how we met and how we've become friends. But yeah, tell us a little bit more about what you do and what you have been doing.
Yeah, do you know what, bro? It's a really funny one when people ask me what I do. So I always say that I've got sort of two versions of the story. One, I kind of like to apply that if I was at a dinner table and I'm around other sort of professional people, like I would say that I own a broadcasting and media company, and kind of just leave it at that. When I'm talking to people that I'm getting to know more on a personal level, I'll say I've got a broadcasting media company. What that really is that it's a radio station. We do photography and videography, and we specialize within the electronic music scene in London. And that, I think, is a really nice statement to kind of encompass everything that I do. Background about myself, I was just sort of a passionate raver, love my house music, was getting into DJing sort of 2015. Jumped on a pirate radio station, and I just had this idea that I could do this radio thing, and I could do it without sounding terrible, but I could do it better than what I was currently getting as a service. And the rest is history, as they say. We're now sort of like, House 559 officially opened its doors in 2017. So, like 3 years deep. I don't actually have a commercial office anymore, but I still focus a lot on social media management and content for different brands or DJs. And I've also started to dip now more into sort of corporate world and sort of corporate events.
Nice.
So it's great, bro, because I mean, I get to make the bigger money from doing the corporate stuff, and people doing bigger sports events is what I kind of do. And then I get to do the stuff that I love when I get to go to house events and interview DJs and festivals and artists and just be around people that I'm huge fans of, basically, or was huge fans of back in the day, and I'm now fortunate enough to call them co-workers or people that I collaborate with on projects.
Yeah, nice. Cool, man. Like, what was it, just out of interest, I don't think I've ever asked you this, but like, what was it like, Maximus, growing up? What were you like when you were growing up?
Yeah, do you know what, bro? I think for me, school was never really going to be something that I was going to do great in terms of academics wise. Because I'm not stupid, but I felt like I struggled to apply myself to something that didn't make me money there and then. I'm quite a short-term goal kind of person. Like, I like to do something and know that that's going to achieve that, and that's going to give me that. I was always working from young. I remember washing my neighbours' cars and stuff like that. Like I was always after a pan note.
Always grafting,
Always grafting. Loving family, mum, dad, and little brother. Grew up in North London. Music was always massive. My dad used to teach aerobics classes, and I, to this day, firmly believe that's where I got into dance music, like electronic music. Because
really?
yeah, that was the stuff that I was hearing all the time. Like a lot of garage stuff in the 90s. And then when it got into like dance, like old school sort of dance stuff, like Rui da Silva, Touch Me in the Morning.
Yeah, that's like the noughties, isn't it? That sort of period.
Like that sort of period there.
The millennium period, yeah.
So I think that all goes in. Got into like the whole grime stuff. My cousin was like, he used to spin a little bit. He wasn't really a DJ.
Yeah.
So when I look back on it, bro, and then also I was in a band when I was about 13 in like a rock band. I was exploring the whole rock. So I got into like Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith.
Nice.
That sort of sound, which I still like. You know, listening to different bits to this day.
Yeah.
So a great upbringing, loving family, loads of music. Loads of like a big family because my dad was Greek Cypriot Italian, so loads of cousins. Like a lot of Sundays were spent all together around the dinner table.
Yeah, I see that on your Instagram. There's always big family meals and stuff
But for us, our whole family stuff is always based around food. Like my mum would cook for 14, 15, 16 of us.
Yeah.
And we would sit there and just sort of power through loads of food on the weekend.
Nice.
And like really fond, positive memories of my childhood, man.
Nice. Cool. I mean, like, in terms of like now, like what you're doing, like when you come out of isolation now, like what's your aspiration? What are your goals? Have you got a plan, or are you just gonna sort of freestyle it, or because like you imagine like when we come out of this shit, like there's gonna be a boom. Like people are gonna be like the normal human intuition. They want to get going again. They want to get cracking again. And like right now they're just being confined, so they're just like bursting at the seams. So like, what's your plans?
Bro, it's a really difficult one, and I'll be honest with you, I'm at a complete crossroads in my life at the moment. My dad passed away in September, which has obviously like changed my life dramatically. Also in like a career and professional sense, because there's my dad was in the property business, which is something that I wasn't really going to go into, bro, until I was a lot older, because I was busy chasing my dreams and my passions and aspirations. But it's kind of at the point where I have to look at that as a serious job right now, because it needs to be done. Like it needs to be sorted. So at the moment I'm getting into studying residential and commercial property at distance. There's a couple of courses I've been looking into online. Over this period, I'll be focusing on that. I will still be doing my radio show on Flex FM. I'll still be doing podcasts. But for now, mentally, bro, I am not looking to anything to come from the rave scene or the electronic music scene.
Yeah.
For the next 6 months, mate, I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm very fortunate enough to be able to speak to a lot of people in the scene, big promoters, big DJs. And the worst thing about this is that we just don't know what's going to happen. We just don't know.
Yeah, it's just too much uncertainty, isn't it? There's no one really knows. No, absolutely. There was one thing you when you mentioned. I remember actually having this conversation with you. I think when you decided to close the doors on House 559, it was shortly after, wasn't it? What happened with your dad?
Yeah, it was.
Was that a realization as to this is maybe not for me anymore? Maybe I need to focus on other things because that happened, or what happened there?
You know what, bro? When you love something and it's a passion, you'll do it forever. You know what I mean? Like,
agree,
as long as like you're ticking over, but that's all my business ever was with the radio. It was that it was ticking over.
Yeah.
And I got into radio and owning a radio station because I wanted to be a DJ and a producer at the time. And as my career progressed as Maximus Stephanos, House 559 also started to blossom. Now, the problem was that I was getting bookings on the weekends, either as a DJ, either to interview people at raves, or to do photography and videography at events.
Yeah, I remember.
Every time I'm leaving the studio, I'm having to pay Simon. I had Simon or Michael that were my staff to be there. And I wasn't getting any money from advertising. The only money I was getting was from subs from DJs. So when you weigh it up, you know, I had like 40 DJs. Our starting packages were at like £40. It just doesn't, unfortunately, financially, I couldn't make it add up, which was such a shame, because there was a community aspect of House 559, which was unbelievable for so many people out and about, coming up through the ranks. People,
I remember, I was one of them. I remember going to raves, and they'd be like, oh yeah, you're J-Pat from House 5, and I'm like, yeah, like, bro, like they know. We
really, like, I say we, it was me, like, I really had the social media on lock, like real, like blasting through content, creating content, putting it out daily. And it was at that point that I'm thankful for it, but like, I'm thankful for it because it was at that point I then realized that, oh my God, like the skills that I've got in terms of creating content, I can apply that to any business. I can apply that to anyone who does anything. And I'm thankful that I had that realization, because it enabled me to branch off into other avenues of video work that I would have never imagined myself doing. You know, stuff like shooting a campaign that went on to BBC News, doing an advert for a watch company, which I never thought I could do.
Nice.
Filming a fishing event that got shown on ITV4. So like crazy stuff that I would have never imagined, but I learned that skill set from owning my own business and just like learning to myself that you have to just say that you can do these things and just take it on, even if you've never done them before.
Absolutely. Like, so all this content creation side of it, the camera work, whatever it might be, the media work, was it self-taught?
All self-taught, bro. But I always said to my mum, when I was choosing my A-levels, I wanted to do media studies. Yeah. And she said, no, it's not a real subject. And but at the time, bro, at the time, it wasn't really, bro. Like I was 16, you know, we're talking nearly 10 years ago now. Media's not what it was. Like it's not what it was. Like now, media is everything. It's essential for every business. Yeah. But if you've got a passion or an interest in something, you can teach yourself. You can. You know, YouTube is unbelievable. And I'm also fortunate. I've got some friends that are superb at what they do in graphic design and photo editing.
You start to build, like, don't you? You got that support, because the more you do something, the more support you get around, the more people you attract to what you're doing.
Yeah,
I'm a firm believer of that.
And that's the great thing about social media. You put out your work and what you're doing, and you see what other people are doing, and it's like I feel the bar is always getting higher in terms of like everything. Like if we look at music production, you know, there's 16-year-old kids, 17-year-old kids that are making fully finished tunes, like engineering it all themselves, and it's sounding unreal. And you know, back in the day, that was never the case. People were all trying to be self-taught, and they didn't really know what they were doing. Just look at the quality of music that was coming out in the grime period, bro. Like, sonically, it wasn't great tunes, great period, but I mean, it wasn't there from an engineer perspective. But if you look at, let's say, the UK drill scene now, you know, these producers are making tunes and they're collabing with American artists that are going in the chart.
Crazy, isn't it?
Unseen. We're in an unprecedented time for music, for all things, I think, creative and production wise.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like right now, like now is the time to be creating. Like I speak to a lot of my clients, a lot of other people who are not my clients, and they're sort of realizing if they're going on furlough or they've been sacked or whatever it might be at the moment. I'm like, now is the time to start being creative. Now is the time to start looking at what you actually want to do. Now is the time to start building your craft and becoming an expert in your field. But it's down to you to go out and do that. And obviously, like I'm like you, like I self-taught myself on all the videos, the editing, the blogs, all that stuff. Like it takes time, but the more and more you do it, the more and more you get into it, the more and more you upgrade your software, the more and more you upgrade your equipment and stuff like that. So I completely get that. But if anyone listening to this, like that's listening to this, and they're like, oh no, well look, I would want to do something. Like I want to start doing what I want to do, like what my passion is. What would you tell them? What advice would you give them?
It's only you that's in control of your own destiny and what you want to do every day. Like if you work a 9 to 5, the standard 9 to 5, I'm not going to sit here and say, then you need to get up at 5 a.m. because that's when the champions wake up. And I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah,
but I'm saying there are periods, for example, an hour on your lunch break, or, you know, when you finish at 5 o'clock and let's say you get home at 7, you have 2 to 3 hours to do something that you want. Like, sleep is also super important. I'm not going to sit here and say, stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning, making music or drawing art. Or, like, no, don't do that. Sleep is super important. That's also something for me on a personal level. I realized, bro, if I don't sleep, I can slip very quickly into a depression, you know, like feeling tired for me, automatically. If I wake up and I'm tired, I'm probably going to have a bad day that day. So I can't take that. So sleep is super important. Just make the time to do whatever you want to do, bro. Whether it's seeing someone, whether it's bettering yourself, whether it's learning a language. You know, there's so many dead moments in the day. You might be sitting on the tube. You might be sat in the car in traffic, put a podcast on. Like, there's so many times in the day that we can take to better ourselves. But a lot of people are lazy, or they want an excuse and they say, oh, I'll start that next week, or
they want an easy route or something. No, it's interesting when you say that. Like, I'm a big believer of, like, you've got 24 hours in a day. Like, what you do with the 24 hours? You sleep 8 hours, 7 hours maybe. Like, what are you doing for the extra 16, 15 hours? Like, there's so much time. If you work 8 hours, you still got 7 hours left. You travel 2 hours, you still got 5 hours left. Like, come on, like, there is time. But there's one thing that goes hand in hand with what you're saying. Like, you can make time, but the important thing is that people just need to start. People don't start. That's the problem. And that's what I've seen. That's what conversations having. If you just start. Just start doing it slowly.
Literally, my next point I was just about to say, starting, it's like the most difficult, but also the most easy thing. You know, after the radio shut, I mean, radio is still broadcasting, it's still on TuneIn and stuff, but after I actually shut the commercial doors of House 559, I always said I wanted to start a podcast where I'd invite guests to my flat, and I'll call it Max's house, and then Max's house will be a party as well. But, like, I had all these ideas in my head, and I was like, oh, I just want to do it. I want to do it. So I just broke it down, bro, into steps. I needed a logo. I needed to create something, okay? At these times, I couldn't really do too much on Photoshop. So I worked with Edward Shepherd, ES Studios. Big up. He's great. So he created the logo for Max's house. He created the intro visual. And then all of a sudden, it's gone from an idea in your head to something that you can show someone and go, yeah, look, this is what's coming soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah? That's already the first step. Yeah. And when I was filming the first episode, bro, and the first episode was with Tough Love, like, I'd never done a podcast before. They were pretty big guests. I've never done a 3-camera shoot before. I've never used separate audio. I'd never dubbed audio over the video.
Yeah.
But I just did it, and it come out, and now we're rolling. Do you know what I mean? The episodes are flowing, and like, you just have to start. And I think when you want something, you just got to go after it, bro. You just have
100%.
to.
I've got a confession to make, actually.
Go on.
So
you haven't watched none of them?
I have actually. I've watched the Tough Love one. That's definitely one. I've watched snippets of them, but no, not with that. I've got a confession that I said to myself this time last year that I wanted to start doing podcasts. It's taken me 1 year.
Okay.
It's taken me 1 year to realise.
This is what we're doing now, though.
This is what we're doing now. I'm recording my first series. Like, you're my first series, and I'm highly blessed for that. And there's a few other people that I've invited to already. But what I've done is that I've just spoke to the guests first of all, got them involved, and now all of a sudden I'm recording. I'm like, right, now I need to, because you've shifted your mind to be like, I'm engaged with doing this. I've got the content. I just need to put it out now. So now I'm much more inclined to do it. I was going about it the wrong way. I was like, no, maybe I need to get the audio, need to get microphones, need to do this, do that. And I was just like, scrap all that. Just start doing it. And yeah, now here I am.
Just start, bro. That is literally the best advice. And now we're so lucky that there's so many different opportunities to use equipment, you know. Like right now I'm literally just using my MacBook Pro internal microphone and this video camera that's already on the laptop. Like, I've literally not gone out and purchased anything to do the stuff from home. And I'm doing it. Like, we're doing it. You're creating your podcast. We're here. We're filming, and it's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
And
exactly.
That's a great thing, man.
Yeah, definitely. I've got a couple of questions for you. So,
Sure.
what's the most common reason you think for people failing or giving up?
You know, I get asked this question a lot, especially in the gym, because obviously,
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
I'm super into like my fitness and training and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest reason that people give up is because everybody wants results instantly. And anything that you see that's really worth having, realistically, I think takes from 5 to 10 years. If you look at, let's take DJs and producers as an example. You know, let's take Jamie Jones, who, if you don't know who Jamie Jones is, he's like one of the king DJs in the house scene.
One of the biggest,
we're talking serious money every time he plays a set.
Yeah.
But he's been committed to his craft for the last 15 to 20 years. If you look at, you know, top business people, let's say Richard Branson, he's been running his company for 25 years. Like, if you look at these guys that are in great shape on Instagram, they've been training a large majority of their life. So people give up because they get impatient, and it doesn't happen overnight. But the biggest thing that you can do to achieve, I think, is just do one thing consistently each day.
Yeah.
Like, just break it down and just do that. Just do that one workout on Monday, then do it on Wednesday, and do it on Friday as well. Or you want to start your business, just do your market research 1 week. The week after that, look into a website name. The week after that, look into logos. Like, as long as you're achieving small things like regularly, you're well on your way. There's no reason to ever stop anything. My dad wrote a book when he was around. Took him like 10 years, bro. But he's written a book. Like,
it's like a lot of people that write books.
Yeah, like, it takes a long time. Just do it. Little page here, little chapter here. Whatever your goals are, you must break them down, and you must do something. I'm not going to say do something each day, because that might not be possible for you, but do something that's always enabling you to start moving forward.
Yeah, no, definitely. Couldn't agree more.
That's like, really, I think that's the only bit of advice you can kind of give.
Start consistency and have patience with it.
And also, don't get too caught up in anyone else.
Yeah, comparing.
That's a really big thing now with social media, and I'm terrible for it, because I spend way too much time on Instagram, and I'm looking, and there might be weeks where, you know, let's say I've got no bookings as a DJ, and I'll be here and I'll be like scrolling for a phone. I go, look, he's playing there. Oh, look, he's doing that. And then I'm like, no, snap out of it, put his phone away, do something that's going to be better. Go and make a tune, go and practice, go and record a mix. Like, looking at other people doing stuff is doing absolutely nothing for my life.
Doesn't benefit you at all. No, I 100% agree. 100% agree. Yeah, that's the big thing at the moment. All of my, everyone has that. All of my clients always have this conversation. At some point, they're like, yeah, I'm comparing myself to that other person or that thing or whatever it might be. And I'm just like, what would happen if you stopped comparing? There's one question I always ask, is like, what would happen if you're the only person in the world? What would you do then? Who would you compare yourself to?
Yeah.
Would you not be good enough, or would you be good enough? Like, there's no one else to compare yourself to. So what would you do? But that's how you should live your life.
That's when you really have to start going deep into yourself and looking at, when you wake up on a day-to-day basis, are you actually happy in here? Like deep down? Because I would say for a long period of my life, bro, I always thought that if I had money, or if I got this watch, or if I was driving this car, or that would be it. Or if I was in this shape, or if I was, a little bit bigger, or if all these really small things.
Too realistic things.
Yeah, like, especially when I was like 19, around that period, when I was about 18, because I always used to hang around with a lot older people as well. So I had a mate who was like a partner at Deloitte's at like 28. So, he was making big money. I had mates who were traders in the city. And at these times, I'm 19. Like, I was working in a school as like a gap student and a sports assistant, making very like basic money. But I was living at home, so I could, I was cool. Like, I was doing all right. But I was looking at all these guys making big money and making like and wearing big watches and driving big cars, and I really thought that if I had that, you know, it would make me happy.
Yeah.
But you know, that was a long period of my life where I was looking at other people and thinking, oh well, if I get that, and then I would get certain things would happen, things would change, my circumstances would change, and then I'll be like, oh wow, like I don't feel any different.
Yeah.
And then when you have
If not,
that,
you feel worse.
yeah,
Now
you
you
know,
lost all that money. You got all this stuff around you, and you're like, well, what now?
yeah, basically that.
Mhm.
You know, I remember that feeling. I had like a big Jeep at one point, a big truck, like 4x4 thing, that leather interior, sick,
Yeah.
and that happiness feeling, bro, lasted like it was very, very short. And then
Mm.
after that, I said to myself, I can't attach a value of happiness associated to these materialistic objects because I'll never be happy,
Yeah.
never. And that's the other thing with money. Like, if you've got money to do what you want every day, bro, you're very blessed. You're very blessed. Like, I know we always want more, and we want this holiday, and we want to be able to go there and go eat at that restaurant and stuff like that. But like, that's one definite positive thing I've taken from like after my dad died. I realized that if you can get, like, for me, if I can get up every day and if I can train and if I can cook my food that I want to eat, and if I can, you know, get bookings and be out on the weekend and make money to like I'm living my dream. And this is what, like, it took me a minute to realize. But well, if you told me 5 years ago, Max, you're going to be a DJ, a presenter, you're going to be running a YouTube channel, like you're going to know all of your favorite artists, you're going to know them personally, WhatsApp, yeah, you're going to be able to message them, whatever, I would have told you get lost, bro. I would have said don't be stupid, like, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm living my dream.
Yeah.
Like, it's happening now. So I, you know, you just have to be appreciative and be thankful, because we're always looking at what's next. What's happening next? What are we doing after this? Like,
always chasing the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're sort of meant. Before all of this stuff, we were so mentally wrapped up in as a society. Like, what's next? Like, and remember, like with what I do and the music industry, you kind of have to feel like that, because if you've got your booking on Saturday, yeah, that's the next time you're getting paid. So you better hope you're getting paid next Saturday and the Friday after that one as well. And you better hope something's happening on the Sunday. And so, you know, it's definitely like the scene is definitely a little bit responsible for that way of thinking, but you can also take the time out for yourself to step back and assess everything that's going on and realize, yeah, do you know what? That's good. I'm really happy about that.
You know what? There's no better time than now to do that.
Exactly, bro. I'm playing on lineups that I would have dreamt about back in the day. Do you know what I mean? Like that's an incredible thing. Like, an incredible thing. Someone told me that I'd go and play at Hideout Festival. I was there in 2013 as a raver. So to go and play there as a DJ, well, it's huge. It's huge.
What was the first year you played there?
2017.
So 4 years later, from a raver to being on stage. Yeah,
4 years later.
It doesn't happen overnight. It's, when you said 5 to 10 years, it really is that. And that's the same thing applies to any business or anyone's doing anything.
100%, man.
No, it's nice. Cool. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Ooh. That's a tricky one. That's a tricky one. Probably money management, bro.
Yeah.
But my dad always used to say to me money management, and my grandpa always used to say education.
Yeah.
So like those two things there that advice is from two great men who went on to achieve wonderful things with their life. So education, because, and I fully believe that, even though I didn't follow it at the time because I was young and didn't want to listen to anybody.
Yeah, likewise.
I'd love to, I'm not ruling it out, but I'd love to have a degree in something.
Yeah.
not ruling it out. You know, it's always available. And money management is something that I would say I struggled with until I was a lot older. Yeah, growing up, you just, especially because I've always been like making money sort of quite indispensable, like weekends, like, you know, weekly money, not used to kind of like, you know, waiting a whole month for a paycheck and stuff. So I always thought, like, it doesn't matter. I make money. Doesn't matter. Like next weekend, I've got that coming in. Next week, like that's coming in. But another great example from what's happening right now is you never know what's going to happen. And it's like, everyone's saying like, oh, it's cool, you can get 80% of your money that you're getting or whatever. But it's not just that though, is it? Because it's what you could have been making during this period. So if you look at like, okay, let's just take me as a videographer. Well, Easter, bank holiday weekend, you got events Friday, Saturday and Sunday. You know, I could have had 3-4 bookings this weekend.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. You can get your 80% or whatever, but you're not including the $3,000 that I could have made that weekend.
Exactly.
That's the truth of it.
It's true. It's the truth. Do you know what? It's interesting because it's when I have conversations with people and they tell me their story always starts off similar to what yours and mine did. We always look for materialistic things. We look at comparing ourselves. We want this, we want that. And then as time goes on, as we grow, as we get older, as we do more, like we start realizing that it's not about all the shit. It's not about all of that stuff. It's really not. It's about just working towards us being happy and the happiest we can be with what we got around us and being grateful for that at the same time. So it's interesting. And, you know, if anyone's listening to this and they are in that position where they have got to that, then well done. You're fully blessed. And if you're still working through that, then by all means, like just take note, like these things don't happen. They happen. Well, they do happen. They happen for a reason. Like you know, all these things in the past, as I always say, it builds our character. Like crisis builds character. There's going to be a lot of people that won't be able to get through this and a lot of people that will be able to get through this.
Well, you know what? There was a period of my life around 2015 where like I look back on it and it's only now that my mindset's changed because I look back on it and it was a really bad period of my life.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful that really bad period of my life happened then because it could never happen again now and I've got too much to lose now.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm too focused and living a good life and being healthy and positive. Like if I was to, you know, if that was to sort of happen again now, I could lose everything, everyone around me, family. But it happened at a period of my life when I didn't really have much going on, mate. Like I was in uni, like not much was really going for me, was doing a course that I didn't really like, went to uni because I thought I had to go to uni. And I just went off track, bro. But I'm lucky I went off track at a point when it didn't really matter where the destination was.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's the best analogy I can give, really.
Right, that's amazing. Man, I appreciate that. Cool. No, we got quite deep there, which is interesting. It's interesting to hear your story, and I appreciate you telling it.
Oh, you know what? It's the first time I've been a guest on anyone's podcast.
Really?
It's nice to be able to talk a little bit about my background and what I've been doing.
Absolutely. Why not? It's always good to talk as well. Always good to talk.
Always.
Like, it's all good you talking to other people and, you know, talking about their lives and what they're up to, but someone's got to support you. Someone's got to look after you. Same with me. Like I've got my own coach. My coach supports me. I've got a support network who support me and I can support others. There's this saying I have, and I said it in my last podcast, that if your cup's not full, you're unable to pour it into anyone else. You're not going to be able to help anyone else. So 100%. It's important that you fill your cup up first, make sure you're good and you're able to help.
Well, how are you finding, you know, isolation mentally, physically for you?
When it first kicked off, bad anxiety, to be fair. Like I was panicking, but then I sort of took a step back. Like when they started locking stuff down, when it started coming over here, the death rate started increasing. I had a bit of a sore throat and I was like, you know, you start really thinking, don't you? You start really thinking. Yeah. Even the other day, I was like, oh my God, I'm getting a sore throat. Like what's happening? Like your anxiety starts creeping up. But then what I realized is that I needed to gain some perspective. So I called my coach. I was like, look, can we have a conversation? I just need some peace of mind of what's going on. Gave me the full perspective of what was happening in the world. It's like, you can't control what's going on outside, but you can control what's going on within. you know. And then I realised, like, all I've got to do is sit at home. It's not that bad. I work from home anyway. So I realised now I'm like, actually, I'm real good. And I've been doing a lot more exercise. We're going out for I went for the longest run I've ever done in my life the other day. I was like, it was like 8K. I was like, didn't stop. I was like, what is going on? I'm not a runner at all. I started speaking to people I don't normally speak to. I started speaking less to people than I normally would speak to, which is interesting. Now all of a sudden I'm doing my own thing and I'm really working on myself. So I've completely shifted on that. But apart from that, like, I'm doing good, doing real good.
I think that this period is definitely, it's going to make people need to talk a little bit more, man.
100%.
Because there's some people that are definitely suffering. They're definitely worried. So, you know, if you do have someone that you can talk to, it's so important. So important.
I keep pushing that message so much. Like one of my videos I did last week, my top 10 tips to overcome COVID-19 anxiety. It was requested by a lot of people, and one of the tips was to FaceTime 5 different people a day, even if it's for a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half hour. I do it every day. Like, you'll be one of them, and you'd be surprised how normal it feels. And how much you actually speak to people that you didn't really speak to in the past, but you really caught up with them, and because everyone's got a common interest at the moment. Everyone's got that common interest.
I've been on House Party, bro. I've been having a laugh.
Yeah, mate, the guy that owns that app must be so happy, mate.
When I'm on House Party, there's no rules, bro. I'm jumping in your chat. Don't leave that room open. I'm jumping in it.
You got a lot of room.
Other day, 8 people I never knew. I'm just joined it. Like one geezer that I knew was in there. He's like, Max, what are you doing here? I was like, here to join the party.
Yeah, exactly. Don't leave it open. Lock your house party.
They should get rid of that locked room option on House Party.
Yeah, just leave it open. I think it's more interesting.
Everyone open.
I think it's more interesting.
Everything's locked up as it is now.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Max,
thanks.
Appreciate you having you on. Is there any last words you want to say?
Big up you, bro. Thank you very much for having me on. Huge shout out to everyone. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay positive in this tricky time. And we will be back. And when we will be back, I want to see everyone out. I want to see everyone in bars, in pubs, in restaurants.
Goodbye.
Living life and just appreciating everything that we've got.
Do you know what? I think that's going to happen. Without you even saying
it's going to be good.
Happen.
Right, walking down Brick Lane is going to be special at one point.
Do you know what? Just getting, like, I live out in the sticks at the moment, just outside of West London, getting on a train back into London, back in Waterloo Station, the hustle and bustle, the vibe, the busyness. I mean, I never hated it at the time, but I'm keen to get back there. But it will come. Now, well, look, I will put all your links. Max's house as well. He runs his own podcast. Tell us a little bit more about your podcast in 20 seconds.
Max's house. I invite guests to my house to chat everything from music to mental health. It always varies and gets on all sorts of tangents. I didn't want it to feel like an interview, but I also wanted to dig a little bit deeper because there's a lot of artists in the electronic music scene that don't really get a chance to sell their story. They just release tunes and you see great videos of them playing crazy sets, but you often don't hear about them being on tour all year, being away from family, being away from loved ones, the long period to get into the top of where they are.
You just see the face of it, basically. You don't see what's underneath.
See the face of it. And also, I think, you know what also makes for a great topic? Whenever anyone can talk loads about, like, music history or drug history with electronic dance music, gangs, bit of violence, bit of all that. I tried to get some entertaining and charismatic guests on. We put that on hold for now, but I'm doing the isolation series via Zoom, just like you are. More episodes for that are coming soon. Just in the process of organising it. That is the podcast in a nutshell, really, bro.
I'll put all the links below for Max, his podcast, his YouTube channel, everything like that. And if you're listening to this, you can either listen to it if you listen to this on Apple or Spotify, you can see the full stream on YouTube. Just search Ignite Your Mind, it'll all be up there. Thank you very much, Max. I fully appreciate it.
Thank you very much, bro. Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah, fist pump. That's all we can do.
Fist pump. Fist pump.
See you later.
See you, bro.